My insensitive husband keeps insulting me in front of our friends to make them laugh and recently took things too far, so I took the insults further and embarrassed him. My husband is a born entertainer and always feels the need to be the comedian in the friend group. He is a funny person and I love this about him, but the fact he's willing to cross every line there is to get a laugh is something that has become a problem recently. About 6 months ago he started making jokes about me to our friend group. He has joked about things such as my autism or my childhood intimate trauma in private to me, and these are jokes I can laugh about with him and him only. The first time he used me as the punchline of a joke was around 6 months ago when 6 people out of our friend group were in a pub. We were all pretty drunk and he made a joke about how if anyone drinks some more they'll end up like my step-uncle and splattered on the pavement. The joke there being that my step-uncle jumped off a rooftop when drunk. Although I wasn't very close with my step-uncle, I told him not to make jokes like that and he laughed it off. The next time we were all out he made a joke about eating disorders and specifically about bulimia, stating that it's lucky he has a small PP because I used to be bulimic and now gag easily. The next time he made a joke about me getting bullied as a kid. These kinds of comments started seriously hurting me after a while and so I brought it up with him about 1 month ago. I asked him in the nicest way possible if he could stop making me the butt of the joke and insulting me, and he told me he never means to insult me. If I just happen to fall into the crossfire of a top-tier joke he is willing to make it. He told me he had no problem if I did the same thing, but I told him that just because it's not a boundary for him, doesn't automatically mean it's not a boundary for me either. We ended up actually getting into an argument and he slept in the living room for a couple of days. He did apologize however and swore that he would stop doing that. Well, about a week ago we went out to an escape room with our friend group. This was the first time we went out since he promised to stop making the jokes. Spoiler alert, he didn't stop making the jokes, in fact he took them further. During one of the puzzles the conversation in the group diverted to childhood experiences of fun things my friends have done with their parents. My husband, hearing this, decided to join in on the conversation and add, "Can anyone guess what my wife's best childhood experience with her dad is?" And he proceeded to hump the air in an intimacy motion. Everyone stood there, and time froze for me for a second. This is something I have never told anyone except him, and no one in the friend group knew. People rushed to ask me if it was true, but I avoided every question. Instead I turned to my husband and said aloud, "Can anyone guess what my husband's favorite childhood experience was?" Stealing money from his parents so he can pay for 60-year-old escorts despite having a girlfriend at the time. One of them ended up blackmailing him because he wouldn't pay for her to bring her son from Slovakia over. This was without a doubt the rudest thing I have ever said to my husband, but when I did say it, he went white and stopped talking for the entire escape room. The atmosphere was so tense we didn't even finish the escape room nor go to a bar after like we planned.